Welcome to the DTC Blueprint Podcast, the ultimate show for ambitious e-commerce brands. We're cutting through the noise and giving you actionable insights, proven strategies, and behind-the-scenes secrets for today's top marketers, so you can scale faster, smarter, and more profitably. In this episode, we're diving deep into one of the most transformational forces shaping our industry, artificial intelligence. Can AI truly revolutionize your brand, or is it all just hype? To help us answer that, we're joined today by Eduardo, a serial founder, investor, and a CEO of Thinker, an AI platform that's redefining how modern DTC brands run their operations. Edo brings a unique lens to the future of e-commerce, automation, and human-centered tech. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Eduardo. Really happy to have you here.
No, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think this episode will be packed with value. We'll answer a lot of our listeners' questions about AI. Hopefully, demystify the whole questions in the whole area of AI for DTC and in general.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Great.
let's jump into it.
Great. So maybe let's start with you. Maybe just tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into the whole first step like DTC on e-commerce, and then really getting into the AI. Let's start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I started, doing DTC long time ago. I was living in Mexico City and I was working with a basically consulting firm. We were trying to, implement technology into, let's say, legacy businesses and more like, older type of business models that were DTC focused. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my intro into, e-commerce and the whole marketing and internet growth space. Mm-hmm. That was, many years ago. But then I started building a startup with my co-founders that was DTC in the construction material business. We were store based in Shopify, and yeah, we also had some physical stores, and we were direct to consumer. Though our B2B, especially in this industry of construction materials, was very heavy. After I finished that business, I moved into the more product and AI space through a company called Genie, where there I supported directly to the CEO, and we just built really incredible products that were, parsing through thousands of data points and bringing the end user a lot of value. That really resonates on my personal life calling, which has been just making very technical products very easy to use. So, the easiness of ordering a product offline, has a lot of technology and a lot of power behind. Mm-hmm. So you as your audience, that are, in marketers or e-commerce managers, they're very interested in making that experience super easy to the customer. I'm very fascinated by that. And so as I was learning through AI in this company, Genie, I started thinking like, what about my past journey, my previous company in the marketplace could have helped or could have done better when it came to AI, knowing everything that I knew in AI. So that's when I had that aha moment in terms of what the future of AI could be and how could I started working on it towards a lot of the expertise I already had, which were e-commerce and D2C consuming. So that's where I, cross-pollinated. And also I've been working in an investment firm that deeply supports the human development and learning experience. So I've been kind of one step in the learning and human development experience over the last, year and a half, and also building AI products for e-commerce related that are deeply human-centered, that are, empowering very talented marketers, very talented e-commerce managers to really push into the next level of the unknown of AI. A lot of what we're going to talk about is a lot of supposing things are going to happen, but we really don't know. And I'm just excited to be learning a lot of things every day and pushing the line forward.
Yeah, we're living in an exciting era, and it's exciting at the same time, and it's also very frightening because at the same time, like if you're someone who is enthusiastic about technology, I think you'll love it. If not, you will be very fearful of it and how it will impact your jobs and livelihood. Hopefully, we will come out of this AI era like in a better way, in a more prosperous way for all of us. So that's the goal. Although there are also some really dangers of this technology, and hopefully we will manage all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And an interesting story is like how we also met.
Yes.
We met at this private equity coma where we worked together. You had your own clients. I had my own clients as operations manager, e-commerce operations manager. And I think that this is something that gives you the edge, Eduardo. Like you're not just someone who has like theory about e-commerce. You've been an e-commerce operator and you've been a marketer and you've worn many hats. So you know the challenges of e-commerce founders and the challenges they have, and you know firsthand how to help them. And I think this is your ultimate goal, like to demystify the AI and really like bring tools and bring technology to them to help them to really accelerate and really get better results as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I was waiting for the intro of how Thinker works to intro how we met because it relates a lot. But yeah, absolutely. I think we had a great time working together and like checking in weekly and seeing like I learned a lot from your strategies and your execution and also like how organized you were managing each in different e-commerce store, and obviously have been loved to keeping in touch with you through time goes by.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great experience. It wasn't easy. It was a bit. It was hard. In terms of like the work and everything. But it was a great experience. Like me by trade, or at least for the past 6 years, like my main like point or main angle I'm coming at this. It's only marketing. I was more involved into marketing than operations. Although I had experience in operations when I just started around 2019, 2018. But my main working skills were involved around like the marketing part, paid ads, performance marketing. I had the operational part in me with my like education as I was educated as an engineer, graduated as an engineer, and especially in manufacturing. So it was a bit of a different world. But that gives me like a lot of context and really how to bring operations and marketing together. And I think this is also really strength in you. Like you worn many hats and you had been in many roles. So I think that also really helps you to build a better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely. I think people build better products. They need to be obsessed with it. And by being obsessed with it, usually, not always, it can come by having that problem yourself. So that is the case in me that I'm obsessed with solving this operations, this scaling problem in e-commerce because I had to go through really tough times when growing businesses before in e-commerce space and not knowing what to do. Not having enough data to make data-driven decisions, hiring, just being creative, etc. So like, having that experience, personal experience in the past that has made me be obsessed to try to solve the same problem. So
Exactly.
I think I'm very grateful for that experience, and yeah, and relate to you. It was tough times, but it was also like very very fun.
Yeah, absolutely agree. With the AI like a revolution, like there's a lot of talk about it. Everyone is talking about it. It's really the talk of the day. But at the same time, I see a lot of people not really knowing how to really apply that and how to bring that usefulness into their day-to-day life. So maybe I want to segment from what we were talking about to start with that base. Like let's start really to explore the AI
Yeah,
revolution, the impacts of it on the world in general, on commerce, on economies. And then maybe we will dive deep a bit more on the useful side, like the practical side, and how DTC founders and marketers can really apply that. So,
yeah.
how do you see the future of AI? How do you see that?
That's
That's such a broad question, but let's start there.
Yeah, the quick answer to that it would be I don't know. I definitely don't know. But
That's
for
good.
purposes of the conversation, I wanna start first by saying that perhaps only 10 to 15% of daily technology users are actually using AI.
Mhm.
So we live in an echo chamber, call it LinkedIn, call it Twitter, call it whatever your
Yeah.
media source is, that we think that everybody is moving as fast as the people we're moving. So
Mhm.
first of all, to your listeners, like relax, like it's going fast, but there's still a lot of penetration in the market that needs to be done. There's still a lot to be work with. People are using crazy good technology to just prove right their emails. Like, that we're still very early in the phase. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a very complex and fancy text predictor at this point, where how people are using it. So, I would first start like, yes, it's moving fast. Yes, it's going to change basically everything. I don't know how, but we're still, there's still a lot of opportunity. And the best thing to do is to be curious about it, learn about it, and just start understanding, learning how to prompt better, learning how to, delegate different stuff with MCPs, agents we can get into. So, I mean, personally, I don't know where it's going to go. I do have some theories we can get into that with
I think
my
that's
theory
the
of
exciting part, like
superabundance.
just theories and
Yeah.
let's go into that. Yeah, AI I think is going to bring a lot of abundance. Also, there's two sides of the coin. Like there is the positive side and there is the dark side. Let's explore the positive side. Let's explore like the abundance side, then maybe circle back to the darker the darker side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, absolutely, I agree. Every technology and every brilliant idea has a pro and a con. Anything relevant in life, someone ever does, will bring something good, and also will have some consequences. That's part of something successful or something interesting. So when I talk about the in my work, when I talk about the theory of superabundance, it talks about how AI will definitely help us solve a lot of the big problems we have right now. One of those big problems would be energy. We are very inefficient when it comes to handling energy, when it comes to storing energy, and when it comes to creating energy. So I think AI will be a tool for us to start solving those problems. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I would like to think in the near future. How does that mean? AI will help us, extract energy from the sun, from minerals, from earth, hundreds of many different ways in a better, more efficient way, to a point that it will become basically free. And that's where the superabundance theory comes in. Where the superabundance theory comes when energy is so abundant and it's so easy to find, call it from whatever source you want, that it basically becomes free. And so now we start moving into a economy that, if you take away the energy factor, then it really moves the needle on how everything works. Right now, we're speaking, my camera is powered by energy. The device I'm using was brought to, I bought it in a store that got there through energy. So we're talking about logistics, we're talking about usage. So the logistics, agriculture, so many different things need energy now.
Everything is energy.
And then
everything is
exactly
matter. Like that's Einstein theory, where there's this equation E equal mc squares. Like basically matter can turn into energy, energy can turn into matter.
Exactly.
Everything we do is basically energy.
Exactly. So when we solve that, everything will change. And we start moving from a service economy, industrial economy, into a more community relationship economy. So as a human nature needs another peer, growing up, as a mentor, as an apprentice, as many different ways. We need the human connection. We need the human interaction. As IQ becomes basically free through AI, then we become an economy based in community, based in relationships, based in storytelling, based in, the human experience changes and how we create value. And the value becomes more human and not more machine. So you could argue that the future of AI means making machines irrelevant and making the human experience, making the human value even more valuable.
I agree. I think that's everything that's touched or made by human will be much more valuable. Like art made by human will be more valuable. Podcasts, music, supply chain that's 100% made by human. Everything that's made by human will be much more valuable to people. I think that's where the focus should be, like putting your focus into the human part, in the original part, like really showing the soul and really showing personality and focusing on that instead of just focusing on the machine and the AI. So I think that's a great point. And how do you see like people? I'm really curious, how do you envision this future where AI is really giving us everything and doing everything, or at least most of the things. What's the role of human in the work? Like, how do you envision that? Like, do you see us working a 9 to 5? Do you see us just working part time on different passion projects? How that fits
Yeah.
into the AI revolution?
So I had mixed feelings about this, and I haven't come quite with a strong direction. But I'll present to you what both sides of the coin. First, I think as before you were expected to have a project finished in 1 week. With AI, now you're gonna have to do 5 projects in 1 week because you can do what it used to take you 1 week to do. Now you can do in one day. So perhaps now we're working more and we're expected to do more because we can do more with the tools we have. So that's one line of thinking that I think we're going to move faster and faster, and expectations is just going to grow, and we are going to be able to do more. I mean, I produce more in a day of work that I could do perhaps a month 3 years ago, not that long ago. I mean, obviously that's exaggeration, but you are getting to that point. So do I think we're going to be expected to do more and more and more? Yes, I think, the tools that the tools that we're going to have, and knowing how to use them, will, as it's been for the last couple decades, the better tools you have and the better you know how to use it, you will be able to use it. So that I can chime in on Thinker and the product that I'm doing. The better tools that are allowing you to do more work and more efficient and better work faster will be the future in that sense. But then I have the other coin, the other side of the coin, which is a theory we talk about a lot internally with the team. That there's a famous book by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week, which talks about just working 4 hours a week, living in the beach, the dream. Not everybody is the dream. So now I think with AI, we can go into the 10-minute work week, and there's something we talk about. So with Thinker, we've been trying to design a world where you can manage an e-commerce by just working on it 10 minutes per week. Everything else is done by our agents and by our technology.
Yeah.
While you are, having a piña colada somewhere in Jamaica, so we have both extremes, and I still haven't figured out which one's going to be. And perhaps it's a personal decision. Do I want to do 5 projects in 1 week instead of 5 weeks? Or do I want to work 10 minutes and live by the ocean and spend time with my family? I don't know. I think both are going to be available, and the beautiful thing is to have options. So I think we're heading into one of those two.
Yes. When I think about this, I'm also like I really look into this a lot. Like, listen to a lot of videos about it, podcasts, research a lot about it. Also read a great book about AI, the future of AI, is called Scary Smart by Mo Gaudat. Really great book that goes into this. And my thinking of this, like, I see AI evolving into multiple stages. So the first stage is human product, like AI-enabled productivity. That's the first stages of development, which AI is still helping us execute our own task. It's still not 100% independent. It still needs us. It's still not there yet. You can't rely on it 100% to complete the task from A to Z. That's, for me, is phase 1. Phase 2 is when AI is so advanced that it can do basically anything a human can do. And really, when we get into that, that's really the interesting part. Like, if AI can do anything we can do, and what can we do there? Like, it's basically, it can do everything. Like, if you're going to start a company, it can also start a company, and it can start it 100 times faster than you. So it's a really interesting idea to think. I'm not sure we can get there anytime soon. Like, to get to that advanced level, that would be like a superhuman kind of AI that's just super smart, can do anything. I'm not sure even if we can get there. Like, the human brain can work in a very different way than AI. And also there's this problem of consciousness. AI until now, where it's not conscious. It's not conscious. Like, it can think very smart and it can solve problems, but it is still not conscious. This means like intelligence and consciousness are two different things. A human have consciousness and have intelligence. AI don't have consciousness but is very smart in a lot of ways. Like, the latest models like 0.03 or other models are even smarter than human in a lot of ways. So that's interesting. For me, the way I see it, like phase one, it will go on to double, triple our productivity or 10x our productivity. Anyone, like if you need a company of 10, you will only need a company of two, and they can execute and do the same amount of work as people before. And that's an interesting phase. I don't know how, like in terms of society, how to organize it. Should we have like an MB, universal basic salaries? I think that's an interesting idea to explore. Should we just give money to people to live and that's it? But at the same time, when we go to phase two, which is when AI is really just it's called like super intelligence or ASI, like
Yeah.
artificial super intelligence. When we get to that phase, then I think all possibilities are there. Like you can't really, it's called, I think, singularity, which is the point where we get to an intelligence that's just, it's superhuman. It thinks like a million times faster. It has its own goals. Then it's unpredictable. You really don't know what can happen then. So hopefully we will get into that stage slowly, and we can adapt and create like a benevolent AI that's going to help us and
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
elevate the
And then, I
human.
mean, I want to make a point on this that, we can talk about, a sci-fi future and how the SAI is going to, take us somewhere, etc. We don't know that. And it's fine. And that's technology. And, hopefully it does or it doesn't happen. I really don't mind. What I care more about is the human behavior, because that's not changing at the velocity that technology is changing. If within our lifetime we see this change, we're still the same, species, human. So I think it, when it comes to a lot of like what will happen if AI this, AI that, focus on human behavior. Focus on the principles of human nature and psychology and social fabric, and those are not changing as fast. Obviously, there will be a change. The way the way that changes and the way humans react to things is what I should focus on and design products towards,
Of course,
and
yeah.
make marketing campaigns towards,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the environment's going to change, but the human mind and brain stays almost the same, as we move on. The evolution goes way slower than the technology evolution.
I agree. I totally agree in this. Like in terms of like you should still focus on the human. And until now, that future, I think it's still far away. Until then, it doesn't really matter. It's not like that doesn't matter, but it's not something you should worry about.
Absolutely.
You should not worry about. You should just worry about how to really apply this technology to help you in your day-to-day operations, in your life, and really how to enhance your life through this technology. But I think it's an interesting part. Like let's also dive into that dark side of the AI for some minutes, just to explore that area. There's a lot of people who are fear mongering and telling people, okay, it's something bad going to happen. AI is going to take over. What do you think about that? Like, how probable is that? And maybe what are the most like realistic scenario in your mind in that case?
Yeah. So yeah. So I just published a post that got some movement on LinkedIn that talked about being an entrepreneur now has more job security than most traditional 9 to 5 jobs.
Uh-huh.
And I think because, yeah, there's a lot of fear out there, etc. But if you're curious, I think curiosity is the most important skill to have right now.
Uh-huh.
Being curious and just the constant learning. Everything successful we can do has to start from a learning standpoint. So we need to learn and keep learning and keep learning. Whatever, if you are scared, is because you probably are putting that side project onto the weekend, and then in the weekend you don't do it, and you're not learning or you're not trying something out. So I think it should be mandatory now in such a fast-paced technology revolution to have 30 minutes a day, or have a 4-hour section of your week just to like catch up and try a new product, try to do something new, learn a new skill, that drawing, it could be whatever, just keep that learning cycle and attitude and habit
That's
very,
a
very,
really
very
good point.
present.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good
yeah,
point.
yeah. So
Yeah, if I
if you're
ask
scared,
you,
just
yeah,
just learn,
yeah,
just learn something and then build it.
absolutely, absolutely. For people who are still a bit lost in the AI world, in the AI revolution. What would you recommend to them how they can catch up and start building that AI skill if you want? AI is not a specific, is not one skill, but how can they build that future-proof skill in dealing with AI and bringing in that opportunity and that scaling to their day-to-day life? What would you advise them? Like, can
Yeah,
you like say
I would.
like a weekly plan, a daily plan to deal with this?
It's hard to give a every size fits all, but what I did myself, and so far in the last couple of years, I think I've enjoyed a lot is find something that you're really interested in, and also something that you're good in. Doesn't have to be the same, but anything you're really good in, like a skill that you're good at, or something that you're really interested. Call it, sports. Call it whatever you want to call it. If you really enjoy that and you don't feel like time is, you don't feel that time is going by and you just get lost in that, well, see how you can apply AI to that. And like go and ask ChatGPT or whatever, or Claude or whatever software you use, and ask it like, what are some AI applications to something I'm really passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not going to feel like a job. It's not going to feel like learning. And through an enjoyable part of you, you're going to learn how to use technology and this technology better and better and push the limit on yourself. And then you go back to something you're really good at. For example, you're really good at accounting. Obviously, that's not your passion. But if through something you were very interested about and you enjoy doing, then you know how to use AI for something you're good at, then you're going to be providing a lot of value. So I learning about e-commerce in my previous experiences has gotten me to apply AI tools to make that job very efficient. So all the operations that we used to do, managing the store when I was in Mexico City, those things, and being in the weeds of things, and the knowledge that I learned there, now that this tool came out, I'm applying that tool very specifically and very granular to solve hurdles that I had. So it wouldn't be like a specific game plan. It would be more like an introspection of yourself and be like, what do I really enjoy doing and what am I really good at? There's also a really good poem by Charles Bukowski that says, don't be a writer. And like, if it's not burning to write something, it's not burning to do something, perhaps don't do it, So find something you really like. So, you kind of, that way you learn a new technology doing something you like, and then something you're good at and you can provide value, call it whatever. Then you apply those skills to something that you can actually provide value. It wouldn't be a game plan. It would be more, yes, I said,
Which appreciate. Like I would say, like if someone is not maybe tech savvy, get help. Like get assistance. Get someone. Get consultation. Get wisdom and knowledge from someone who knows how to use it, so it can help you to apply that. I think that's also
I would
something.
even say if technology has gotten to a point that if you know how to use an iPhone, you should be able to use so many products online. Like
Yeah.
it's gotten to a level of no code. I think it's more critical thinking and having that vision of where you want the product.
There are some people. Yeah, I work with a lot of founders. There are some founders who are not very tech savvy, although they are in e-commerce, which is tech
Yeah,
enabled thing. They are not very tech savvy, so they might still, in this case, they might still need a bit of push. I'm also curious to ask you, like, how do you use AI, like, in your day to day? Like, walk me through to
yeah.
a typical, like, how do you use it? Like, how do you make it useful for you?
So that's a tough question. Actually, I need a second to like
Think about it. Yeah,
to
take
think
your
about
time.
this. Yeah.
Take your time. Let's take like 3 use
All right.
cases.
So
Don't
yeah,
overthink
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Use
no, because
cases.
I'm trying to like give you a proper answer because it changes a lot. So all right, let's go. So the way I use the AI on a daily basis. First, I have overall product roadmaps and distribution KPIs in our project in Thinker, and as also as part of helping the investment fund. I spend split time between each. Basically, what I'll do is I'll set up AI and knowledge environment and provide the tools there to make better data driven decisions. So part of my day is setting up databases, setting up contact forms, going through databases of clients I want to reach out and try Thinker with, investment decisions we want to make, etc. So like a lot. of my day is building the foundations so that AI can do a better job. What tools? Well, tools that I use, ChatGPT, Claude, Lovable, Cursor, Notion, all kinds of stuff. For example, there's a really good type of workflow we do with in Thinker that I go and talk to customers and they're like, I have this pain point, I have that. We'll record the meeting and obviously I'll go back and see what were the pain points he said. I'll discuss with, my co-founder, Max, and see like, hey, they're looking for this, they're looking for that. Immediately, I can build a prototype with a prompt in Lovable or Vault. We can visualize how it looks, take a screenshot, and I send that to production, and he codes it and puts it in the software. So getting that used to before take you a long time. We can have that over a day or two, or where the customer says, I have this issue. I know enough of the industry to like manage the conversation to understand what is he trying to do, where's his pain point. And I also know my product from A to Z, so I can, see where the gaps are. We get that confirmation, we see that intention, and we go back and build. Obviously, a lot of feedback loops, etc. So that's a great way to solve problems and getting value propositions. Other information is just setting up really good databases. Call it Google Sheets, call it knowledge bases inside of ChatGPT as projects or in Claude as projects. In Notion, just getting a lot of data and organizing it to create context to so that AI could help you better. That's a lot of my day too. Talking to investors all the time. They're very interested in this space, and I think that I believe the product we're doing is quite revolutionary.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of one-to-ones too. Just a lot of conversations. I'm speaking with countless people a day. So it's have me heads down, focused, running and building and communicating with the co-founder, and the other half is getting out there, getting the word out, and getting that human connection to build their product.
Yeah, I agree. Like AI can be used in so many ways, and it's very personalized thing that anyone will use it in its own way. I will also share how I'm using it. Maybe people also can relate to the way I use it because it's very close to the way they are operating. What I use a lot is ChatGPT. This is something that I use on a regular basis. I use it to help me write like marketing plans, sales plans, ad copy. We use it to help with emails. We use it to help with crafting campaign ideas. We use it like everything in marketing, and we're also experimenting with using like their like Sora and image generator to get ads and generate ads. AI can be also used in meetings. I have AI note taker that's helped me with taking notes and crafting like actionable action items for the next time. We also do project management in ClickUp, and it has also this AI feature called ClickUp Brain, where it helps you like synthesize the work. You can ask it what people are working on, their current task. You can ask it about anything in the database, similar to what you're doing in Notion. We're doing it in ClickUp, so we have like all of our knowledge base there. It's kind of like asking the company, like asking DTC Nova, which is my marketing agency, asking it, what's the procedure to do this and this and that? And it will tell you, you have this document that outlines this SOP and you do it this way. And this is, I think, very useful thing for DTC brands, like to start like gathering the knowledge in one place and ask the database. And I think this is also something Thinker can help with. You like feed the data into Thinker, and it will give you back an answer. Maybe even for people who are just new to the company, they still don't know a lot of things. They can go there and ask it, like as a brain of the company. I think something that's very practical.
That's something I wanna dive into like double click on. I think more and more we're seeing specialized AI tools. So, I mean, you mentioned you use it for copy, you use ChatGPT for copy, etc. I do believe ChatGPT is a great tool. Don't get me wrong, but it's also super generic, extremely generic. And there's this famous context problem that, of course, it's learning through everything you are, prompting in. But if one day you're asking about, how long should you microwave your pizza? And then next day you're asking to, run a copy, obviously you're using it for different things. And that's completely fine. But I do believe the specialization of AI and going deep in the vertical that company is solving is a big motivation for me on building Thinker with the rest of the team. Because you can have a good prompt or a good project set up in ChatGPT and Claude, but it doesn't come close to the full potential of understanding the whole brand universe context inside of the Thinker universe. Like, I'm gonna jump in quickly on a feature that we have. We connect to over 350 APIs. Call it Meta ads, Facebook ads, Instagram, Google, Klaviyo, all everything you want to use, and it's gonna understand the context better. So we use your store data. The AI uses your store data. It uses Thinker proprietary data, and if you wanted to use, it can use internet data as well. Kind of like how ChatGPT does it. That way, you have like a very specific context of what your store is, what your project is doing, live, already connected, all the data piped in through APIs. And so that's where we're starting to see an edge on, we call it GPT wrappers or sector specific, context and databases. Yes. And then just to like go even deeper in that, that's where AI agents come in. And that's something I use a lot that I forgot to tell you how I use AI too. I use agents all the time. Agents, go into, blah, blah, blah website and find me 10 leads with this specific requirements. The agent will crawl, do a scraping, come back with it. Can you please do this? Can you please do that? Now I feel like I have 20 something assistants every day. And it's costing me, a couple of dollars, a month.
That's a very similar thing that I'm doing. Agents. I'm also building a lot of agents in ChatGPT, something to help me for LinkedIn specifically or for Google Ads specifically. So small agent, and it comes back to what you were talking about, like feeding the AI specific data. And I think that's the future, like having specialized AI, like specialized agent. Like there will be a Facebook ads copy specialist, like a Google ads copy specialist, marketing strategy specialist in the future, a specialist in a box. And also there will be the phase where there is a company specialist where you feed it your own data and it's proprietary and it's protected in that environment where the AI can tap into that data and really get it back. And really have that context about the company. Maybe even like going one step further, really is feeding it like a day-to-day data. I'm not sure if that's something that you're already doing in terms of like feeding it, say, email or an email coming up from customers or a chat coming up from customers or a comment in social media come from customers. If we get to that level, like that's crazy level of personalization because the AI will know everything about the company better even than you and than me or the founder or anyone. Because he can see the comments, he can see the reviews, he can see the emails. And then like he will be able to craft like a really strong picture about the company in a strong context to help you build up a strategy, solve pain points. He can easily tell you, okay, people are complaining about late shipping for the past 30 days. Solve that. Like people are really complaining that on the I'm not sure what's the level that you're already integrating it into Thinker. Is it at this level yet, or still a bit? Are you integrating like emails and reviews?
Yes.
Chat?
Yeah, we can, anything that we have that is perhaps digital, we have an API for it that can pipe in the data. So obviously we've been releasing more and more APIs as our customers start requesting it. But yes, absolutely, we have the infrastructure to hold 300 plus APIs that can really feed in the context of your brand and your store and your project universe. So yes, absolutely.
I think this is a good time to segment into Thinker and really before we can circle back also to other tools like other tools that DTC brands can use. Let's first really start there, like because we were talking about Thinker. I think our listeners are really excited to see that and experiment that and see how it can help them. So maybe Edo, if you can walk us through your software, give us a quick presentation about it, how it can help DTC founders and really help them really accelerate and facilitate their operations in lives in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I do really want to make the point that this is built as a previous founder that trying to solve the problems that as a founder I used to have. So, I'm basically solving three problems. The knowledge problem, knowing what to do, having better data-driven decisions. The time. So nobody has time. You need multiple people, multiple hands. I've been a founder, hundreds of thousands of things to do. I'm behind on many things. So it's the time problem. And then third is the scaling. It's more simple. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's more simple to go from 0 to 1 and have a store that kind of works, etc. To be selling X amount than to take that one X amount to 20 X amount, because that you're going to need a team. You're going to need increasing in budgets. You're going to need to buy more inventory. So like problems get big, and with bigger problems, more important decisions. So we built Thinker based on these three problems that we're currently solving. So Thinker, you go on the site, you create your account, and you immediately connect to, it's also in the Shopify App Store. You connect and it gets linked. After that gets linked, you can, based on your pricing tier and your membership tier, you can connect up to 25 different APIs where you can choose from 300 plus. We have all kinds of API. Most people do Google Ads, Meta Ads, Klaviyo, the big ones. No? Once you have, let's say, Shopify or other e-commerce platforms connected, plus where your marketing lives, Thinker will start seeing and understanding very low-hanging fruit, very easy decisions and optimizations you can start doing day one. We do that through a store audit. So basically, this is a one-click solution that sends you an email with 3 steps you can do today to increase sales or to increase customer retention or increase lifetime value. What examples are these? It'll tell you, hey, we noticed that buying drops when they're in the cart because shipping is a bit too high. Maybe you should give a discount on shipping after they pass $50. So it'll give you a recommendation like that is very obvious to the AI because it has all the data, but it's perhaps not obvious to us. And we would have to spend hours doing analytics and solving that problem. So very quickly, very initially, people can just one click, get an audit, and get very quick wins, we call them. After that, we can move into an all-in-one chat. So the experience that you have in ChatGPT of chatting and doing copy, etc. Now you can have it, but you can have it inside of Thinker. And you can have it inside of Thinker with your live data of the success of your campaigns in Meta Ads. You can have it with the description in your Shopify store products. You can have it with previous information that you used or from an old campaign. And you can even have it with internet data. So right now we have a super powered, superhuman thinking machine that you're orchestrating. Mm-hmm. It's for your store. So that would be the second. And then the third, where we go to what we call the autopilot, that's where time saving really goes through, and also increasing revenue. That will be the autopilot. Basically what it does is agents as go optimize our SEO, go create a bundle on products that you think will match good to increase the minimum average order. So you can set up tasks from there as a motherboard, and then Thinker will go out and do it, and we can move and the settings inside of Shopify all through the Thinker app. So there you can, based on the data you just saw in the chat, based on the recommendations, you can now also orchestrate and operate those agents from there. Please keep in mind that this is all designed for marketing, for e-commerce.
Exactly.
And we're not doing accounting, etc. We're trying to grow your store because we work best once the store has some revenue. It's very hard for us to go in if you just started. And yes. I want to be completely honest. Yes. If you have 2 or 3 months and some sales, we can start really working with you and doing that. But if it's day one, you can use AI, it, but it won't be. AI needs data, and so
lives with data. It feeds with data. It's like we feed on food and bananas or something. AI feeds with data.
Yeah, so. Theoretically, you could use internet data that we are able to search for you if you're in day one. But and just for disclaimer, I would rather you start and then join once they've been moved on.
Basically, AI
finally,
Thinker is like a superpowered assistant and analyst, the way I understand it. I think it can have some really powerful applications. Like it can, for example, say, I would recommend you to run this sale on Mother's Day, for example. And it can even discount your products for you. So it can change the price. It can discount it 20%, 15%. And maybe it can even, I don't know if it can or not, but it can suggest these specific titles in your hero section. Mother's Day sale, 20%. So this is all was taking hours and hours of work. So it's like a really intelligent assistant who's very intelligent, who has access to everything, can do everything in the store, and also analyze the data, recommend steps to take. So it's like a mini store manager who is doing that, and also like a smart marketing manager and an analyst all in one.
You got it. You got it. And you got it even better because you've been there.
Yes.
You know what we have to do every day and all
Yes.
the hours. And then with that being said, we can go back to what we're talking about, the 10-minute work week. With a tool like Thinker, you're doing everything so proficiently and so fast that now you can have 2 or 3 stores at the same time. Perhaps, yes, you can. Or you can have one store that is very profitable and spend more time with your family, maybe have it as a side hustle, or, really, really go into the communication, the branding, perhaps the relationships you need to build as you build that brand. So yeah, this is really taking a lot of time off the table, a lot of decision making, a lot of guessing. It's taking a lot of guessing out of the table, and it's just putting the real value of human at center. I mean, it's like, this is my brand, this is my project, I'm going to have this AI help me. But then again, it's me, I'm taking the decisions and I'm growing. So like that comes back to what we started the conversation with.
Yeah,
and on putting the human in the center of our technology.
Absolutely. Eduardo, a quick question for you. Can you share for our listeners in the screen, like how Thinker look like? Just a really quick walkthrough on the platform. I think that people would be very, very eager to see that.
So here I'll leave it off to my co-founder, Max, who will do a quick 2-minute demo video of Thinker, and happy to answer any questions after through email, or just send me a DM on LinkedIn. I'm always reaching out and talking with customers. If you have any ideas too, so please enjoy the demo and reach out whenever you want.
Great, that's great. I will put your LinkedIn link in the description. I'll also put Thinker in the description so people can easily access that. That's great. So let's get into the demo.
Hello, this is Max, CTO of Thinker, and today I'm going to be showing a quick demo of the platform. Once you've logged into thinkerup.com, connected your store with one click after downloading our Shopify app, you can get a store audit here, where we'll email you our AI's recommendation based on all of your data. You can also set up additional emails so you can get inventory insights on Tuesday at 9 a.m. And just like that, we'll get an email every Tuesday about inventory. You can see past emails here in the Action Hub. You can also connect to different data platforms. We have it in our advanced integrations here. If I have Meta Ads and Google Analytics both connected. Here are some of our other supported connections. Once this data is connected, our AI can email you about them, or you can just test it right here in the chat. We'll start a new chat. What is my ad efficiency over 30 days? And you can see in the background, our AI pulled that data from you, from your store, your connected source, gives you insights onto the data that we've shared with Meta Ads, and you can chat right here. We can also say, who are my top customers? So we can see, along with Meta Ads, we also have Shopify ads that are showing actionable orders from my store, showing insights and giving recommendations. There's a lot more to discover with Thinker. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
That's good. So yeah, that was a great demo. Really, really great. I think this tool will be really useful, and it's an evolving project. And it will be even better as time moves on. From the months and the years, I think it will get even better and even more useful. So that's great. But I want also, Eduardo, to get your perspective on other tools and other ways that AI can help DTC founders, in marketers right now. What are some other ways that are really can be useful from day one right now that are actually in the market that people can use?
Yeah. So this goes beyond saying, but I do want to say if you have a direct to consumer and you're still not in Shopify, like absolutely that is the best place to start. No questions about it. If you've been thinking about it, you should definitely do it 100%. Another direct to consumers, I've seen a lot of user generated content. We have to be careful about user generated content now because it can become a bit obvious that they're not actually clients. So, going into user, it can be very, very profitable, but also it can perhaps, not create validation. And I think that's an underrated, sector in the DTC. It's brand communication and just branding in general. I think now with AI doing so much automatization and so much data analysis, I think direct consumers should also see how they can leverage AI for their brand, their storytelling, and their communication. One of the most important skills of the next 10 years, or, it's been, but now it's even more important, is communication. How does your brand communicate to the consumer beyond what you're just typing in a copy or showing in an image? How does it make them feel? That emotional design is very, very important. Finding tools to do this is extremely important. You can brainstorm, as easy as with the ChatGPT, or you can, find other tools online that, help you create, finding inspiration in Pinterest. It doesn't have to be super AI complicated. It has to have a lot of creative thought and look at it through the frame of your customer. No, so like think about what are they doing when they see your brand? What do they think after they see your brand? So that communication and that emotional feeling that your customer is going to get is extremely important.
Yeah, definitely agree. And just coming back to the UGC part, in my opinion, for now, I would rather not really focus on that a lot for brands, because as time goes on, it may take a bit of authenticity from the brand. Like if people want still, even if it's like an influencer, people still want to see an influencer or someone like a real person talking about the brand. There's this scam that's proliferating now in the web, where some brands will show, for example, fake personas and create fake stories, for example, about this grandma who has cancer and going to create this beautiful brand and is going to die or something. It starts scamming people. I think that's one of the not great things about AI. And for now, how you can use it for me in terms of like marketing, focus on kind of cool things you can do with AI. Video, for example, that's clearly AI. People can know AI. You can even mention that, but it's not trying to be not AI or fake UGC review. It's real clearly, like, for example, a big kind of 3D model of your product that's in New York, something like that. That's clearly AI, but it's super fun. It's really fun use of AI. That's I think the best way of using it in marketing.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because users now know that AI is really good, and so they're going to have their antennas and their alert signals on seeing, like, is this AI generated or is this actual, and they're trying to figure out. So if you use AI, just make it obvious it's AI, and just be like, hey, I use AI to make something fun and clever, instead of, hey, I try to make something real using AI and try to trick you. So I think that's a great point. And just, make it obvious. It's like, hey, I know how to use a tool. It's cool. It's empathetic. It's, it's futuristic. It's whatever you're trying to communicate, but be obvious and just be authentic with that communication. Exactly. I think that's a great point you said.
Exactly. And like if people detect that you're doing a UGC video that's fake and it's AI, it's an installed trust kill. It will kill their trust like faster than anything else. So I would definitely avoid that. Using it in image generation, for example, in cool ways. Maybe a product demo. Like if you just have the products and you don't have a person using it, you can use ChatGPT image generator to generate an image for that. So that's one way of using it. But always just be upfront and not try to really scam people. But I think most people won't try to do that. There's always this minority that will do that. Also coming back to the applications, one cool thing I'm seeing brands doing is chatbots, AI chatbots. That's saving them a lot of time and a lot of money in customer support. Like this app called Tidio, they are already incorporating that, I think, in 100 language or something. That's already being used in some of the stores I'm working with. It's working great. When the AI doesn't know how to handle the situation, it will call upon your human customer support and you can take it from there. So that's, I think, one cool application right now that people can use it.
And I think they're getting better and better, as we say, like sector specific. For example, I know a company called Visito that is a AI chatbot for hotels. So they help them book, in through chat. And so very quickly we're becoming specialized in the core value proposition of an existing business and implementing AI to that. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Using these kind of chatbots, they're getting better and better. And just, also I'm getting more used to, as I get more used to chatting with ChatGPT on Claude, I'm also that's the way I'm gonna expect customer service as well. So
exactly.
I think it's
fast and personal.
Chat tools are great.
And even
chat tools are great.
Even up, I'm not sure if they got to this level or not. Like remembering like exact customers, remembering not just their names, but products they bought and preferences, and maybe like just chatting with them and knowing them on a personal level, and maybe use that later on. If someone reached out and the AI already can know him, he can recommend to him a specific product. This is, I think, more advanced. We are not at that level yet, but this is where the future is headed. Like personalized conversation. The AI will know that person, will know his name, will know where he lives. He can speak to him in a better way, more personalized, maybe even use that data to create custom emails or custom campaigns, but this is a lot more advanced. We're still not there yet, but this is where the future is headed.
Absolutely.
And another thing, and this is something that I think Thinker already can do, is predictive analytics, predicting, for example, in the future, maybe like in your industry, this is what to expect. Like you're going to maybe grow by 30% in the summer. You're going to see a spike in Black Friday. It's going to, your LTV also, it will give you a lot of like useful data. Your LTV might be, let's say like $100. With this cohort, people who came from this particular campaign have a really high LTV. So focus on that. Like for example, people who came from Facebook ads campaign that's promoting Easter have a really high LTV. This is just a random example. Try to do the same kind of campaign in the future.
Absolutely.
These kind of insights are really, really useful and will set apart like the winning DTC brands from brands who are not winning.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you're doing a great point. And then also, as I'm talking about Thinker, that's the third feature that we didn't really mention, which is all the analytics and reporting. So, we all know how hard it is to do reporting and like, tracking where the sale came from, understanding, ROIs, ROAS across platforms, we're moving tabs. So that's a huge problem. With Thinker, we have a whole feature helping users just do that reporting, have it centralized, understanding on the deeper level. That's what we call it, deep reporting. And so, you can really, really use prompt to report. So you can say, give me the status of my store of last week compared to the week before that. And it'll go and find the pros, the cons, give you the reporting, give you analysis in a matter of seconds. That used to take, me and you. That's hours of time. So it's amazing. So that's definitely solving a huge point.
Yeah, amazing. That's really good. You can even ask him for the last 7 days, like give me what was the blended ROAS or marketing to efficiency ratio, like what are the best performing campaigns in Facebook ads. Like you can start asking these questions, and even maybe you already have like automated reporting, I think, and automated
templates,
notifications. So that's already really great.
Yeah, we do have some already existing templates that users can use, and also just being more specific, you can say I want to know how my last week went compared to the week before that, because I want to sell more. So I'll go and find data that will help you sell more. Or like you want to say, if you tell your goal to the AI, it'll go and find data to help you support that goal. So that's something very important to increase the quality of prompting.
Amazing. That's really great. I think you're going into the right direction in developing Thinker. I think these are really killer applications of AI that's going to make people's life a lot easier. I think
maybe not easier, but definitely better. So better. Easy is subjective, but the better. That's our goal. That's our goal because we just want to empower the human.
Absolutely.
It's never easy. Life is tough, but at least we can do better things with better tools.
I agree. That's a great point. So I think we're coming close to the ending of our podcast, and I wanted to get like one last piece of advice from you. Like in one sentence, like what should our listeners do today to future-proof their brand? Just one thing to do to really develop their skills. What should they do today to really future-proof their brand?
So it's a split answer. First, it would be based on the theme of what we've been talking about. How are you using AI to grow? Literally, that's simple. That's a question you should ask every single day. How are you using AI to grow? And then in a more DTC focused answer to that question is, when was the last time you called a customer and asked them, how did my brand make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
And see what they say. I'm not talking like a client, I'm not talking like a random client, ask him for time and be like, what did my brand make you feel? And why did you buy it?
That's
That is
good question. Yeah.
extremely important for DTC.
Yes.
Because as humans, we're emotional beings. We make decisions based on emotion and impulse. The majority of time, hopefully, not all the time. But I think, how are you using AI every day to increase productivity, sales, whatever you want? And then the other one is the human aspect, which is, how does my brand make you feel?
Great. That's such a great suggestions. That's really good. Yeah, and in the era of AI, it's the human connection that wins. So that's, I think, such a great recommendation. Well, thank you, Eduardo. Like that, this has been a really fun podcast. I think people and our listeners will learn a lot from it, and I think they will come up from a lot of useful tips and a lot of useful actions to take. So thank you for that. And where people can find you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah. Well, obviously, first, we would love for users to try Thinker. It's currently free first month. So happy if you guys want to try it. Mm-hmm. Thinker.pro is the main landing page, and you can just create an account, sign up there. So I would love if you guys, give us a try. We're already helping hundreds of customers worldwide. So, please join the movement of operating autonomously e-commerce. And then me personally, you can follow me, my first and last name, Eduardo_Samayoa on X Twitter, and on LinkedIn, Eduardo Samayoa as well. We can tag and have the links there. And my personal website, eduardosamayoa.com. So basically my name all over the internet. I'm happy to chat with anybody out there who wants to talk more about this, has any ideas, please reach out.
Absolutely. We'll leave the link in the description for anyone who wants to follow. And thanks for our listeners to sticking with us. And hopefully this have been like a joyful episode that the people can learn a lot from it. If you like the podcast, follow, like, and leave us a review. Thank you for watching, and until next time.